Hey guys, here we go into keys to victory 2 of 4 for Sergey Kovalev. And again, patience is a virtue. Kovalev's going to need to be patient, and he's going to need to control the distance. I don't have any clips of him taking half steps back, except for a couple of them. But Andre Ward is going to want to be coming in and closing the distance and trying to find a way to work inside. Now we know that some of the stuff that Andre Ward does with the holding and hitting, and after he's worked his way inside, not everybody agrees with it. Some people do, but whether you do or not, he's going to get credit for some of these punches, no matter what, when he works his way in. So the best way to stop him from being able to work on the inside is to maintain the distance. And one of the ways that he's going to need to do that is with power shots when Andre Ward is coming in, or more appropriately, in my opinion, with his jab, using his jab to create space. He doesn't have to find ways to open up offense, in my opinion, when Ward is coming in, because a lot of times in those situations, Ward is still able to close the distance and tie him up, or get close enough to him that he can work on the inside and land some punches. Whereas when he's able to control him with his jab, he's able to stop him from mounting any kind of offense. And I think that Kovalev beats him really easily on the outside with the feints and the probes, as well as another key to victory, which will be coming up in the third video. But as you see in these clips, Kovalev has a lot of effective ways to keep Andre Ward from closing the distance. So let's kind of talk about what's going on in each of these clips. So here, Andre Ward wants to slide inside and get under Kovalev's jab or his punches or anything. So as soon as Andre Ward starts dipping inside, right, Kovalev immediately goes to control his head and stop him from coming up with it. This is actually a tactic that he learned from watching replays of Andre Ward versus Mikko Kessler, as Andre Ward comes in with his head when he's coming in. But in this instance, he's coming in, he shifts forward, and even if he doesn't get like a headbutt, and if you don't agree, that's fine too. It's not about that, but allowing Andre Ward to get in and start wrapping his arms around you and start landing punches on the inside. And this is exactly where Kovalev doesn't want to be. Not just because Andre Ward is able to work on the inside and he's going to get a lot more credit for the fight being fought like this, but also because Andre Ward has more experience wrestling. He's going to be able to tie arms up better. He's going to be able to land punches better on the inside. And Kovalev's going to want to avoid this at all costs, especially because I think that one of the reasons that he gassed out was because of all the wrestling. I don't think that his body was prepared for it, whereas Andre Ward has much more experience. And again, same clip. Andre Ward comes in, slides under, Kovalev controls his head, and boom, body shot, and then another body shot. Not hard punches, right? But they're scoring blows, and he's going to get credit for them. Now in this clip, Andre Ward tries to come in with his jab. Kovalev takes a step back and doesn't control him, right? But that still doesn't work. Andre Ward's still able to work his way inside and start working and landing punches on the inside. Now in this clip, Andre Ward doing the same tactic, sliding in, right? Trying to shift, and he takes a step back and starts landing power shots. I think that right hand lands, but then he still winds up getting too close to Ward, and Ward's able to tie him up and start landing punches. Whether they land or not is not important. This is going to be Andre Ward's game plan, and Kovalev needs to stop it. And sometimes, catching him with power punches is going to work. Sometimes it's not. It's a risky proposition either way. But here he is coming in with the jab, right? And Kovalev catching him with a left hook. And even though he lands that power shot, Andre Ward is still able to tie him up. And even though the referee breaks them in this instance, this is exactly where Andre Ward wants to be, and eventually he's going to find times where the referee's not breaking him. Then right here, beautiful timing from Kovalev. Ward rolls in, right onto an uppercut. Whoops. rolls in right onto an uppercut, beautiful shot. But as you see, Ward, even after getting caught with that shot, is still almost able to tie Kovalev up. So even though he's able to land these shots, it's not the best way, right? Unless he knocks him out with the shot. But here we go into the last clips where Ward starts coming in, and he comes in with a jab, and Kovalev just takes a step back and controls his head, right? And now Ward has no way to get in. Again, comes in with the jab, Kovalev takes a step back and controls his head with the jab. You know, very smart tactic. Here you go, he comes in with a lot of offense, and then as Ward is trying to work his way in, right? Let's get all these clips in there. So, gives him a feint, a jab, a right hand when he ducks down, right? Thinking that another jab is going to come, throws a left hook, and then Ward controls his head, it's not a real jab, and starts ducking, expecting a jab to come in, while Kovalev is backing up. Ward's trying to control his head, and he controls his head on the way out with these jabs, and stops Andre Ward from being able to body up with him and get close. You know, and this is exactly what he's going to need to do all night to keep Andre Ward away from him, because so much of Andre Ward's offense is predicated off of fighting on the inside. And again, another beautiful tactic from Kovalev right here. Andre Ward tries to work his way in, touches his glove, controls him with the forearm again, and then after that, when Andre Ward goes to punch, catches him with the jab, continuing to step back and controlling Andre Ward, stopping him from mounting any offense, and allowing him to start throwing his own. Then Andre Ward comes in with the jab again, and he eats a jab on the way in, and he has to cover up. You know, I don't think that Kovalev should be controlling his head right here, but he moves away from it immediately, lands a right hand, and then a questionable right to the body. But as you see, as soon as he starts wrestling with Kovalev in that instance, whoops. As soon as he starts, whoops, oh my goodness, I'm the worst, you guys. Why do you guys even watch my videos? As soon as he starts getting close to Ward, Ward's able to tie him up, and this is exactly where Andre Ward is going to want to be. And like I said before, eventually he's going to be able to start wrapping Kovalev up, wrestling with him, draining his energy, because I don't think he's going to be prepared for the wrestling again, and possibly able to start mounting offense. Again, I don't agree with the headlock, right? But when Andre Ward's coming in and trying to grab him and wrap his arms around his body, it's you know, quote unquote, it's okay, you know. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you.